A history of dental implants from ancient times to 1950. The pursuit of restoring lost teeth is not a modern vanity, but a deeply human endeavor rooted in antiquity. Dental implants, far from being a recent invention, have a surprisingly ancient and inventive lineage. The development of dental implants traces a story not only of medical progress, but also of cultural ingenuity, human adaptation, and the enduring desire to maintain function and appearance despite the ravages of time or trauma. Ancient civilizations and the first recorded implants. Some of the earliest known attempts at dental implantation date back over 2 millennia. Archaeological discoveries have shown that ancient civilizations endeavored to replace missing teeth with a variety of materials, often combining function with symbolic or ritualistic value. In Honduras, a lower jaw dating to around 600 CE was uncovered, containing 3 tooth-shaped pieces of seashell inserted into the sockets of missing incisors. Remarkably, these implants showed signs of bone integration, indicating they were not merely ornamental, but had become functional over time. Similarly, in ancient Egypt and Etruria, archaeologists have found dental bridges and prosthetic devices fashioned from gold wire or human and animal teeth. While these may not qualify as implants in the modern endossious sense, they show an evolving interest in the functional replacement of lost dentition. The ancient Mayans, for their part, used carved stones, shells, and even jade, evidencing both advanced craftsmanship and an appreciation for aesthetic form. The classical world, observations without integration. In the Greco-Roman world, medical texts from authors such as Hippocrates and Galen contain references to oral care and the management of dental diseases, though there is little evidence of surgical implant techniques akin to what we see in other ancient cultures. Romans did, however, utilize gold wires and metal bands to stabilize loose teeth or support prosthetics. Despite their advanced surgical knowledge, there was little exploration of implantable devices that could integrate with bone. Medieval stagnation and Islamic medical insights. The European Middle Ages saw a general decline in surgical practice and anatomical experimentation, largely due to religious prohibitions on human dissection. Consequently, medical advances, including in dentistry, stagnated. Nonetheless, in the Islamic world, scholars such as al-Zahrawi, Abulcasis, compiled comprehensive texts on surgical procedures, including those for the treatment of oral injuries. While there is no concrete evidence of implant use, the preservation and advancement of medical knowledge in the Islamic Golden Age helped maintain an intellectual continuity that would later feed into the Renaissance revival. The Renaissance and the revival of surgical curiosity. With the Renaissance came renewed interest in anatomy, surgery, and empirical science. Andreas Vesalius' seminal work, De Humani Corporis Fabrica, 1543, redefined anatomical study and laid the groundwork for a more systematic exploration of the human body, including dental structures. Pierre Fauchard, the 18th century French physician, widely regarded as the father of modern dentistry, introduced numerous innovations in prosthodontics. While implants per se were not yet a part of his repertoire, his methods for anchoring artificial teeth with ligatures and screws began to resemble the mechanical ingenuity seen in later implant designs. Early modern experiments, materials, and methods. The 18th and 19th centuries were marked by increased experimentation with artificial tooth replacement. One widely used material was ivory, derived from both animal tusks and human donors. These ivory implants were typically shaped and inserted into tooth sockets, but failed to integrate with the surrounding bone, often becoming sources of infection or rejection. Human and cadaveric teeth were also used as implants. Tooth transplantation was a trend among European aristocrats, with poor individuals sometimes selling their healthy teeth for the wealthy to implant into their own mouths. While initially promising in appearance, these implants usually failed due to infection or immune rejection. Nonetheless, some innovative minds were laying the foundations for the modern concept of dental implants. In 1809, Maggiolo, a French dentist, placed a gold implant into a fresh extraction site and attempted to affix an artificial tooth to it. Although unsuccessful due to infection, it marked one of the earliest recorded attempts at an endosseous implant using a metal post treat. Industrial Revolution and technological advancement. The late 19th century saw a convergence of technological, scientific, and medical advancements that created the conditions necessary for more serious exploration of dental implantation. The development of anesthesia, improved surgical instruments, and germ theory, thanks to pioneers like Joseph Lister, transformed the practice of oral surgery. Dentists began to consider more durable and biocompatible materials for implants. Metals such as gold, platinum, iridium, and later, stainless steel were used to create implant posts. In 1886, a German physician named Dr. Edmund N. Callahan experimented with porcelain and ceramic implants, highlighting the importance of aesthetic concerns even in these early days. While these materials were innovative, the key challenge remained biological integration. Most early implants were either subperiosteal, resting on the bone, or transosteal, passing through the bone, and while some could be anchored mechanically, they did not bond with the surrounding tissue. The osseointegration puzzle and pioneering efforts. The concept that an implant could fuse with bone, what we now call osseointegration, was not yet understood. Nonetheless, there were glimmers of promise. In the 1930s and 1940s, a number of practitioners in Europe and the United States began attempting to refine surgical techniques and materials. In 1937, the Strock brothers in the United States developed an implant made from Vitalium, a cobalt-chromium-molybdenum alloy. They placed these root-form implants into canine and human jaws and found that they exhibited greater biocompatibility than previous materials. This represented a turning point in material science and was one of the earliest instances of a successful metallic implant that achieved some degree of functional longevity. Another significant development came from Sweden, where in the 1940s, physicians such as Dr. Per-Ingvar Brånemark began studying bone healing and regeneration. Though his revolutionary discovery of osseointegration would not be made until the 1950s, the groundwork was being laid during this decade through basic science research. Meanwhile, subperiosteal implants, custom-made metal frameworks placed beneath the periosteum but above the jawbone, gained popularity in clinical settings. Though lacking the stability of later root-form implants, they offered a new path forward in edentulous rehabilitation. Cultural and social perceptions of tooth replacement. Throughout this long and inventive journey, social perceptions of dental prosthetics and implants played a vital role. In many cultures, tooth loss was stigmatized, and artificial teeth, regardless of their functional limitations, were often pursued for aesthetic reasons. George Washington famously wore dentures made of human teeth, ivory, and metal, though not wooden, contrary to popular myth. These were cumbersome, painful, and required constant maintenance. Tooth replacement was therefore not merely a medical procedure, but a social and even psychological necessity for many. The drive to perfect dental implants reflects deeper human desires. The wish to preserve one's identity, to retain dignity in appearance, and to enjoy the fundamental acts of speaking and eating without difficulty. Conclusion. Towards a new era of implantology. By the mid-20th century, all the essential elements for successful dental implantation were coming together: surgical precision, antiseptic methods, material science, and a growing understanding of bone physiology. The period from antiquity to 1950 represents a fascinating phase of trial, error, and innovation. It reveals the resilience of human creativity and the relentless pursuit of solutions to some of life's most intimate challenges. The post-1950 era, heralded by Brånemark's accidental discovery of titanium osseointegration, would lead to a dramatic revolution in dental implantology. But the journey to that point, spanning seashells, gold wires, animal tusks, and metal alloys, demonstrates that the history of dental implants is not merely technical. It is a story of humanity itself, inventive, persevering, and ever in search of wholeness. References. 1. Amarin, M. A. et al. 14. The oldest known dental implant, seashells in the pre-Columbian era. Journal of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery, 72-7, 1342.E1 to 1342.E3. 2. Garotti D. 2020, History of Dental Implants, News Medical Life Sciences. /www.news-medical.net, History of Dental Implants.aspx, newsmedical.net, Health, History of Dental Implants.aspx 3. 3. Nasser S.H. 2006, Science and Civilization in Islam, Harvard University Press. 4. Ring M.E. 1985, A History of the Dental Profession, McFarland and Company. 5. Ring M.E. 1994, The Teeth That Were Sold and Transplanted in the 18th Century, Journal of the History of Dentistry 42, 3, 103 to 106. 6. Linkow L.I., 1970, Implant Dentistry Today, Mosby. 7. Misht C.E., 2007, Contemporary Implant Dentistry, Mosby Elsevier. 8. Guglielmotti M.B. et al., 2019, Histologic and Clinical Studies of Vitalium Dental Implants Pioneering Work, International Journal of Oral and Maxillofacial Ints 34, 4, E41, E49. 9. Brånemark P.I., 1983, Osseointegration and its Experimental Background, Journal of Prosthetic Dentistry, 53, 399 to 410.